Why do the #1 archers in the world choose the proven brands of True Ball Release and Excel sights? Because they want to win.
I will prevail.
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 Welcome back to the Lancaster Archery Classic. I am Chuck Cooley. This is Teresa Johnson, and we are covering it live right here at the True Ball XL Archery Hall in Spooky Nook Sports Complex. This is the Hoyt live broadcast, and of course we have live score streaming from Dead Center Archery Products, and right now we're coming up into the Barebow Recurve, and these two guys, this is number 4 versus number 3, Dale Martin, I'm sorry, Dewayne Martin and Scott Bills. Scott Bills will be on target 1, and Dewayne will be on target 2. These guys had a pretty solid come through the ranks.
Okay, we'll get this match started.
So, Barebow Recurve, Teresa, tell me a little bit about the differences between what we saw. Now, we just saw a bunch of recurve archers with the young ladies and the young men coming through. These are obviously adult men, but they're still shooting a recurve, but there's clearly a lot of difference here. Give us a little rundown on what we're looking at.
Absolutely. So lots of things, Chuck. I mean, the first and most noticeable is these guys don't have sights on their bows, right? So they are not using an aiming device per se to decide where to place the arrow on the target. They are actually using the arrow for aiming. There are a lot of different aiming strategies that barebow archers can use. Certainly the point of the arrow is one. Archers use different anchor points. As you can see, he's bringing the bowstring back to a much higher spot on his face. There is no clicker on the bow, so these archers are basically estimating when they're getting to their draw length, as opposed to being told by a clicker that their arrow has gotten to the correct draw length.
Right, and with a recurve, if you draw a half-inch shorter or half-inch longer or quarter-inch shorter, quarter-inch longer, it's going to give you a different projector. The arrow is going to leave the bow at a different speed. It's going to have a little bit of different impact. And these guys are generally trying to aim off the point of their arrow. Wow, look at those 2 shots from Dewayne.
So this is one of the great things about watching barebow archers, is that they are so good. I mean, these guys are really, when you consider you don't have a sight, you don't have a clicker, I mean, they are really can hit the middle. And I've had, I think we're going to go out to Rob here for some archer reaction in a minute.
Gentlemen, you guys look like you're having a great time. For those of you that at home that don't know, barebow, these guys are shooting without sights. They're just anchoring, coming back, and they're depending on muscle memory and just a sight picture in their minds of where they need to hold, either on the target, on the arrow, just kind of their internal compass. And it's a very, very challenging way to shoot. It's the ultimate test of archery, in my opinion. How's it feel up there, Dewayne?
Pretty nerve-wracking. Yeah, not real good.
It's not like the field club out back?
Not like the backyard.
Well, I hope you're having a good time. Congratulations on being here. Scott, I've known you for quite a few years. You've always been a tough competitor. How's it feeling up there?
Same as him, kind of nervous. A little bit different, but fun.
There we go. Let's have a good time. Okay.
So Dewayne Martin, Chuck, is actually a really
did you
prolific
shoot first?
barebow
Scott
archer.
should say.
He's a big deal. Dewayne has won IBO and ASA World Championship titles, and he's also a manufacturer. You saw on his shirt that it says CD Archery, and I believe he actually he's the manufacturer of those bows.
Oh, no kidding. So one of the things that's important that we should
Got
reflect on
7
here
just
with
out.
Rob
Oh, wow.
and the Lancaster Archery Classic here, and why it's so important to have these barebow guys, is Rob is a firm believer of the importance and the history
Just out.
of the barebow. I mean,
Nice
when you
shot.
think about it, 50, 60 years ago, when our parents and grandparents
Got
and
10.
even our kids who are now just plunking around in the backyard, it's a stick and string into a hay bale, and that's where these guys started. And so it's really important, and Rob has shown his commitment to bring the
Scott
best
answers with
barebow
10 of his
archers in
own.
the country
Still
to this
tied.
event
Tie score.
and entice them to be here to keep the history and the importance of the barebow alive in the sport.
Right.
Correct.
Nice
So
arrow.
while tournament archery, certainly when we look at target archery and 3D archery, and competitive archery has been growing
Okay, we
according to
got 7 at
organizations
3
like
o'clock.
USA Archery and the NFAA for the past several years. They've been on this
So it looks
huge
like we may
uptick.
have a 2-point
But
lead maintained
barebow
for
archery,
Dewayne
which as
Martin.
you said is stick and
Nice shooting
string,
for both of you.
and I think we're
Dwayne,
going to
I
go
noticed
out
the
to the
gear that
archers
you're
right
shooting.
now.
Can you tell me something about that riser?
Me and Calvin Smock make this CD Archery. It's called a WFX 25. Weighs about 4.5 pounds. Made right here in the USA.
What town's it made in?
Right outside of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Right outside of Erie, Pennsylvania, in good old USA. And I noticed that it's got some unique weight features. The weight is distributed toward the front of the bow to make the bow react the way an archer likes it to.
Yep, it's bottom heavy and front heavy. So can be shot truly as a barebow with no stabilizer. It is 4 ounces heavier on the bottom than it is the top.
And it takes the standard ILF or Hoyt dovetail fitting limbs. Very nice. Nice shooting, Dwayne. Scott, we love the look of that bow. That is just gorgeous. Tell us something about that. What do you like about it?
This is the Spigarelli DMS. It's their new riser this year with the Hoyt X Tours. Just a great, soft feeling, good riser.
It's really gorgeous. Good looking setup. Okay, gentlemen.
So we can see here that, the differences in the bows. I mean, for all that these are very basic, the goal of barebow archery, right, is to be accurate with as little extra equipment as possible. And yet, look, I mean, these bows are very high quality materials, real craftsmanship. There's nothing basic about barebow.
No. These guys take it very seriously, and they put a lot of time and effort into it. And you can see it in their scores. The match is actually pretty close.
We've got an 8, just a little bit left.
Just a little 8 left there, so that'll bring the score to within a point. Dwayne still leads him by 1, 60-59.
Dwayne's got a 9. Nice shooting.
And one of the great things about barebow archery, Chuck, is that anyone can try it, anyone can do it. If this looks a little familiar to you, well, think about Katniss Everdeen and the Hunger Games, right? And Princess Merida and Brave. Young women and men all over the country have seen great examples of barebow archery for the last few years in the movies and in pop culture. And there's a lot to be said for just drawing the bowstring back and following your instincts to let that arrow fly. It is the most authentic form of archery possibly that there really is.
Yeah, ooh, a nice 10 out of there.
Beautiful shot
That'll
from
turn the
Bills.
match.
I believe he might take the lead with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 77 to 76.
Let's go out to Rob here and get a couple of words with him here now that they're going to the last end.
Good. You starting to relax a little bit?
A little bit.
Very good. Very good. Having a good time?
Absolutely. Great venue. You did a great job.
Oh, we're just glad to have you guys here. Nobody has as much fun at this tournament than the barebow guys. We're tickled. Is this your first year at the Classic?
It's my first year. Coming back next, for sure.
Very good. Don't miss another one. All right. The official scores are 77 to 76. Scott, do you choose to shoot first or second? Okay. Scott chooses to change things up. Shoot first.
So, Chuck, when you shoot a match, of course, you decide to go first.
Gentlemen,
What's
move your
going through your
sides, be
mind
sure
when
you
you say,
dial
I'm
in.
going to go first?
Well, I think he's trying to put a little bit of pressure on him. He was able to swing the end back in his direction, finished strong with a 10. So maybe he can stay in that groove, hit another 10 or a 9, and put a little bit of pressure on Dewayne and see if he can make him force an error.
So we notice here that these archers are hooking the bowstring underneath the arrow as opposed to having one finger above and two below. Just another one of the differences between Olympic recurve style and barebow recurve style.
Well, they'll do 1 over and 2 under. Ooh, and an X.
11 for Dewayne.
Beautiful shot, 11 points.
Nice shooting, Dewayne.
That could swing things.
That has definitely put it back in his favor. A 2-point lead here going into the last 2 arrows.
And
That'll be
now,
a
We have
8, 7
an 8,
high.
little on the top
now
side,
there's a little bit of ground to be gained. That is one thing about barebow matches,
Ooh.
is things can swing
got
wildly
6,
very
just like
fast.
that.
Because there's no clicker to ensure the
Yeah,
consistency.
it's a tie match going into the last arrow.
Without a clicker and without a sight, things can get a little less consistent downrange because it's just the archer's
got a
form.
pressure on with a
Scott's
9.
last arrow.
Very nice shot. Let's see what Dewayne does.
And that's it. It's out.
And that was an 8.
So officially that
believe-
match
Yep,
will go to
Scott
Scott.
Mills is going to take it on
By
that
1
last arrow.
point.
Came down to the last arrow.
Back
Nice
and
shooting,
forth
Demmer.
just like that.
Fantastic shooting from both of these guys.
Let's have Rob get a couple of words for him as we get the other archers ready to bring in.
Good show for the brand.
Great. Awesome time. Yep, glad to be here.
Well, you represent all of the barebow archers. We got about 50 barebow archers that are shooting here. It's the toughest field of, I think, any barebow competition in the country at this point. And if you're shooting a bow without sights, you've got to be here. So these guys have a great time.
Yes, we do. Thank you much.
Congratulations, Dwayne. Scott, nice shooting. Do you choose to stay here or move over to the right stage?
I'll stay here.
This is treating you pretty well.
Okay.
How you feeling, bud?
Good, man. This is a ton of fun.
Good. Your heart beating?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Definitely know you have a pulse when you're up there, don't you? Yep. Okay, can we have our next archer?
And so now we'll be bringing out Bobby Worthington. He's the number 2 qualifier
Next archer.
in
I
the
gotta get to the
barebow
program here.
recurve division.
It's rough. I got a
And,
mind like a steel trap, all rusty.
These guys will
Okay.
definitely get a little
Do you have
tougher
a
as they
choice of
work
right
their
or
way
left,
towards the
first or
top.
second?
And again, welcome to the Lancaster
right.
Archery Classic here at the True Ball XL Archery Hall at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex.
second?
Brought to you by Hoyt Archery. This is the live stream put together by them. And if
This
you're
is
watching
Bobby
the scoring
Worthington.
on screen, that's brought
Bobby,
to you
I
by
wanna start
Dead
things
Center
out.
Archery
We had
Products.
an awesome
You can
occurrence
find all
earlier
sorts
with
of
you shooting a
information
robin
and
hood. How'd that
social
feel?
media about these events by following Lancaster Archery on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Look for a hashtag LAS Classic to find pictures, images,
Wow.
stories about the event right
Let
here.
me see what arrows you're shooting. Great, you're shooting Carbon Express arrows. So Lenny Resmer and
About 840 or
Recurve.
850
Keep that
people
in
watching
mind. This
right
man's
now,
down
so
to 3
hopefully we
arrows.
get a
He
few
could
more
use
on
more
board.
Carbon Express arrows.
Coming up later on this afternoon, we've got the Youth Open Female, the Women's Open, which promises to be some great shoot-offs. I'm sitting
Hey,
with
Scott
my
will lead
co-host,
off.
Teresa Johnson. She's helping me out today. Then Women's Open, Bow Hunter, Senior Open, and Masters Open we will complete this afternoon. Hopefully that'll get all done by about 6:15. And then we'll be back tomorrow right here to do more for the Lancaster Archery Classic.
Nice shot. Looks like
And
a 10. Just a little
Scott
bit
comes
on the
right
left
out of the
edge.
gate, blasting with a 10.
And he's got a tough opponent here with Mr. Worthington. We watched him shoot yesterday, and just a phenomenal competitor. And actually, this is the gentleman we mentioned earlier in the broadcast.
Wow.
Look at that 11.
11 on his first
That
arrow.
is a decisive shot to open the match.
With
This
no
is the
sight.
gentleman who saw us coming at him with the camera yesterday and said, I don't want a camera on me. So he's got the
Scott-
And
camera
he
now.
matches it up with an 11. Look at these guys. Barebow.
Goodness gracious, look at that shot. That is wonderful.
Little smile, little wry grin there.
Little pressure for Bobby Worthington. Let's see what he can do. There's some real skill in this match between these two gentlemen.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's 2 11s
This-
using a barebow.
This is what barebow looks like at the highest levels. This is what it looks like. And out to the 8.
Left with that one? Or no, that's a 10, excuse me.
Mr.
Oh, that
Worthington
8 was
here.
the first one, yeah.
2 arrows from Bobby Worthington that would make any Olympic recurve archer very jealous. He is so solid. And he's out to the 8 as well.
What
But
an opening
still,
end, though.
he
11,
will take
11,
it by
8.
1.
Like a 30.
And
Bobby
let's go out to
29.
Rob and see what the archers have to say.
Bobby, how are you feeling up there?
I'm feeling fine.
Very good. You excited to be here?
Yes, sir.
Is this your first year at the class?
It is. Very enjoyable.
What's your hometown?
Pikeville, Tennessee.
Pineville, Tennessee.
Pikeville.
Pagville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you all for putting this on. You've done a great job putting it on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's give Bobby a hand. What an awesome first end.
Kind of has that old Fred Bear look to him, doesn't it?
Fierce man in a hat.
Scott, you're hanging tough. You're shooting 11s, lots of golds. Keep her rolling, buddy.
Keep it in the goal. That's the goal.
There you go. Scott, what's your hometown?
What if
Flushing, Michigan.
Flushing, Michigan. All right.
Michigan.
this just some fantastic shooting from both of these guys, huh, Chuck?
Oh, yeah, that was an
we're getting
amazing
set.
opening match for those guys.
Bob,
And again,
you
you know,
have the lead.
you know,
First or
Rob
second
did a
to
great
Larry?
job of trying to recruit the best guys in archery for this Barebow challenge.
And I'll tell you,
Easton shooter versus a Carbon Express shooter.
and I believe that Barebow has been a new division at USA Archery events as well in the past couple of years, and so it's really nice to see the growth in Barebow archery here at the Lancaster Classic. It really speaks to the fact that there's demand for this style of archery out there. It's very simple, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, the thing I've noticed about the Barebow guys over the years, and one of my close friends is a Barebow competitor, they're very passionate, they're very dedicated, they're a very tight group of friends. They all work very hard to try to make sure that, you know, the sport and the division stays
Got a
alive,
7 to the right.
and that people are continuing the tradition. Now, there's an unlikely miss.
And for both of these gentlemen, I mean, both of them with 7s on that first arrow, but
Scott's got a
Scott
9,
answers
so
with a
we'll go.
9. Let's see if Bobby Worthington can pull off a stronger shot. That is a fantastic belt. I don't know if you can see that, but just amazing detail on this gentleman's outfit, including his hat. And the hat must be luck because there he is in the
We
9.
got a 9.
So this match, at least this end, is tied up
Tough
right
match.
now.
1 point difference.
This is a very tough match. And
looks
again,
like-
that belt buckle.
Looks like he's shooting one of the risers like the last guy was shooting as well. That one made in the EPA.
It does look like a CD archery
It's a
riser.
6 just out, I've been told.
6 just out.
So a 6 will hurt. You know, Scott Bills, we've got to see Bobby Worthington can answer that with
Needs
something
an 8 or
strong.
better.
And we know he's capable.
We've got an 8, which is also just out.
So they should tie that in.
Okay, I'm going to take a moment and hand the microphone over to
means Bobby
Lancaster Archery's head of Track Check Archery, and we've got several guys that shoot Barebow, but John is the most active and visible of those guys. Sean Snyder is another, and we love this division. John, I'm going to give the mic to you. Take it away from here.
You surprised me. I wasn't ready, but I really appreciate this. Scott and Bobby, looking good up there. No nerves. None.
Let's give these guys a hand.
So
Where's-
Bobby's got the lead going into this third end, 54-51.
And you can see Bobby just,
sitting on a 3-point lead.
you could see Bobby just sizing up the target, really contemplating what's
Bobby
going on
chooses
down
to
there.
shoot second.
So he deferred and gave Scott Bills the opportunity to shoot first, which sometimes can put that pressure.
I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to make him perform,
Looks like an 8.
see if he can follow it up. You know, he came out of the gate really strong. You know, he was the one that opened with a 30.
I'll tell you what, Bobby Worthington is not kidding today. This
No,
man
it's-
looks very serious.
No, it's excellent.
And
There's
it's a 10. Nice
10
shot.
on the line.
With no sight to aim with no clicker to tell you your draw
That's
length.
a 9.
This is not an easy game.
I can't imagine. I've tried to do this, and it's incredibly difficult. I can't imagine the time and the energy that they have to put into it to be this accurate. Scott with 17 on the board. Bobby with his second arrow here.
A little.
Holds on to the 9, but he had that little bobble there.
Yeah.
You saw that. So 19 points on the board so far for him. 2 arrows in. Last arrow for Scott.
Now the shooting form, Chuck, is not all that different from Olympic recurve style. I mean, the basics have to be there. You have to have a solid bow arm, great upper body alignment. You've got to have a strong anchor point, meaning where you bring the bowstring back to on your face, and you've got to use back tension when you release. Let's see how he does here. He
10.
caught the 10.
Looks like a 10 on the line for Bobby.
Wow, what a great round for him.
Fantastic
So
shooting.
that'll be 29-26, and Bobby will extend his lead. He's up by 6 now. We'll go out to John
Scott,
and get some
a couple
words.
years ago, I shot against you at NFA Indoor Nationals, and you won that year. Is that correct?
2011 I won.
2011. Very good. Tough competitor. You shoot indoor, outdoor, field, 3D. What's your favorite venue or sport in archery to compete in?
Nothing beats field. Field best.
NFAA?
NFAA field is tops.
Fantastic. Bobby, you shoot everything too. I know you shoot a lot of 3D. I've seen you at a lot more 3D than I've seen Scott. What's your game in archery?
I enjoy 3D. I enjoy animals. I'm live in a rural area and hunted all my life, so that's why I enjoy 3D more.
You've written a book on bow hunting whitetails with a bow, yes?
I've written a couple, yes.
Fantastic.
You know, one of the things that Bobby just touched upon, which is so important to our sport, is he mentioned his interest and his passion for bow hunting. And the reality is that so many archers are bow hunters and vice versa. It's great to see that embracing of bow hunting here on the line today.
I was impressed with the fact that he's written a couple of books and tried. Wow, nice 10. It's probably an 11.
Maybe an 11, yeah.
That he's written 2 books, to try to pass that knowledge on to the next generation.
And bow hunting to begin with it requires so much preparation. I mean, it's easy to do, but it requires learning and preparation. Bow hunting, barebow, recurve, no sight. That takes some talent.
Wow, another 10.
Great shot. 10 for Scott.
Beautiful
Probably
group.
helped push that first arrow into the 11. If it wasn't touching, it definitely helped it.
Bobby looks like he's looking heavenward for some inspiration there. And a nice group
Kissed
with
in.
that other arrow, but it looks like he might be out. Okay, looks like he got it. Ooh, that 6 will hurt.
That's going to hurt.
That
Dang.
may give Bobby Worthington the lead he needs to take this match.
Scott's only got a 4-point lead right now, so pretty much anything inside the color is going to do well. Yep, there it is. That's an 8. 7.
Looks like Bobby
to
should have
104.
this match.
Congratulations, Bobby Worthington. You're moving on.
What a great match. We'll go out and we'll get some words from John.
Congratulations, Scott. And you shot tough. Hope you come back next year. I believe that was good that was the first match. Second match. Okay. Payoff is, where's that? Payoff is $400 for your efforts today. Congratulations. Nice shooting. Hope to see you again next year and at the NFA Nationals and around the circuit. Yep.
Thanks for having me, and again, great job this weekend. This is awesome.
Thank you so much for coming. Whole way from Flint, Michigan. Thank you, Scott. Let's give him a hand. Bobby Worthington, that was a heck of a show. Nice shooting. Y'all warmed up, getting relaxed now?
A little nervous still. It's a little different than hunting.
Kind of like watching a big buck coming in, knowing you're going to get a shot at him, huh?
Oh, that don't bother me too much no more. Not like this does. Well, there's not a spectators when I'm in the woods.
There we go. Okay, we have our next competitor coming.
Love to hear that.
John Demmer needs
commentary
no
from these guys.
introduction.
Absolutely. And here we go. John Demmer. What a fierce competitor.
Now, we talked about John this morning. John's the #1 qualifier.
Here he comes.
And Teresa mentioned that he's one for being a little fashion forward, you said?
Right or left?
Absolutely.
He chooses right.
Always with the graphic
Okay.
tees, bright
Bobby will shoot
sneakers,
from the
bright
left
bow,
platform.
bright
John
shorts.
Demmer chooses the right platform.
And I see John moves him off the platform,
John, welcome.
maybe to
Been
try to get
a
into
few
his head a little
classics
bit or
already,
change up the
and,
lighting or
looking
get an
forward to this
advantage
one.
where he
How's
can.
your weekend
Yeah, this
going?
is no rookie here.
Okay, except for that one. It went pretty well. Looking forward to it.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I'll let these guys get started. You've chosen to shoot first or second? Okay, John's chosen to shoot first. At the whistle, his 30 seconds will start. As soon as his arrow hits, Bobby's 30 seconds will start, and we just repeat until your end's finished.
Now,
Okay.
again, we've got no clicker here. We've got no sight. And so with no clicker, it can even be a struggle just to keep the arrow on the arrow rest, Chuck. I mean, never mind trying to get your draw length consistent every single time.
Yeah, you got to make an effort to make a good, clean shot. You see just a little bit of a squeeze there.
Out to the 5 on that one.
Now, we mentioned the tape this morning in the earlier broadcast. They're putting the tape on the side of the nose. That's generally to just keep from wear and tear against the edge of their nose with a string, with the way they anchor.
That's correct. So you'll notice that a lot of the arrows here have big fletchings on them. You've got feathers that are, shaped a little bit differently than we normally see on an Olympic recurve bow. And as you can see, there's the potential to create some issues there with the knock and the feather. We want to keep that surface as clean as possible for the arrow to pass.
Solid shot there for a 9, just a tick low.
You've got such a study here in the very old school Barebow bow hunter. Bobby Worthington is about as authentic and old school as it gets. And John Demmer, who is a thoroughly young, modern, competitive barebow shooter, and yet so much mutual respect between all of these barebow archers, a tight-knit community, and beautiful form there from John Demmer on that shot.
Great first and second 2 arrows there from John. Coming into the stadium a little bit cold, and he's been out on the practice range.
Look at that beautiful release from Bobby Worthington. He's so close to his face when he releases that arrow, and that is going to help prevent movement of the bowstring and movement of the arrow.
Thanks, Rob. Hi, John. Tough first arrow, nerves?
A little bit, always.
These guys, many people may have seen you this summer shooting the World Field Championship. It was you and Brady and Dave, and you guys won another championship for the U.S. men's team. Tell me about that experience.
It was pretty cool. It's always neat to shoot against or shoot with other styles like Brady and Dave. It was pretty cool.
The sports, the games in archery, field, 3D, indoor, target, you shoot them all. What's your favorite?
Right now, it's pretty much field. It gives you a nice variety. You get to meet new people. I mean, I've been around 3D for such a long time. It's nice to get out and do something a little different.
The World Field Championship gives barebow shooters a chance to compete on an international level, so I saw you wearing some clothes I think you stole from somebody on that trip this summer. But thank you, John.
Can we go ahead and cuff him now?
Yeah. We'll cuff him.
So it sounds like we've got some really friendly banter between Bobby Worthington and John Demmer. One of the things we see here is you've got 2 archers who have some real strong personality, which is so great for spectators, so great for fans. And again, it underscores the need to keep focus on this growing barebow division because they have fantastic personalities, Chuck, in this division.
Oh, yeah, these guys are great. And I want to do a big thank you for everybody who's watching. There's a little over 1,000 people watching live online right now. This is the Lancaster Archery Classic from the True Ball XL Archery Hall at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex. You are watching to the Hoyt live stream, Hoyt Archery live stream of the 2017 Lancaster Archery Classic, with live scoring brought to you by Dead Center Archery Products. For more information or to track what's going on with this event online, you can go to YouTube through LancasterArchery.com.
or you can find all the live scoring also on Archers, which is rcherz.com. My name is Chuck Cooley, and I'm here with Teresa Johnson, and we are in the second end of scoring for the men's Barebow Championship. This is the gold medal match with Bobby Worthington in the brown hat with a kind of the Fred Bear look there, the old school Barebow style, against John Demmer.
Bobby's got a 10, just out.
Nice, beautiful shot there.
And Bobby Worthington has just been putting him down there all afternoon today, and he is up against one of the toughest competitors out there in John Demmer. And they are both holding their own right now. But
John answers with a 9.
it looks like we've got maybe that one arrow that John Demmer could really regret in a couple minutes after Bobby Worthington shoots his last one.
Yeah, his very first arrow when he came out of the gate was very wide right. He said it was nerves. He knew it was nerves. And so that's going to be a little bit of an advantage. We'll see what Rob's got to say from talking to the guys.
Going to Bobby Worthington. I'm going to hand things over to John. John Word.
So the question is, if you don't have a sight on your bow, how are you aiming these bows? So John, are you pulling a crawl, or what do you see as you're aiming as you look down there?
I'm pretty much putting the spot right on the gold. I'm crawling down maybe a ½ inch for indoors. Right?
Moving your fingers a ½ inch below the nock on the arrow, and you say you're putting your spot on the gold, you mean?
Bottom of the gold, kind of lollipop it, kind of. Yes, tip of the arrow. Yep.
Bobby, when you're shooting, are you pulling your fingers crawling down the string?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And when you aim, do you have a sight picture, or are you just looking at the X? What are you seeing?
I gap slightly. I look at the X, and I've got the arrow on my peripheral vision.
And when everything goes good, it goes where?
In the 11.
Perfect. Good luck.
John, did you just say
I thought that was
pulling a
incredible.
crawl?
That was incredible to get the information on how these two guys are aiming differently. Now, being a recurve shooter, you could give us a little bit of information on that. I know what a crawl is, where you count how many wraps it is down the string, but what's the advantage there as a recurver?
I think it's just really giving them some option to adjust for height, similar to the way a recurve shooter is adjusting their sight. You know, where you're really sort of forcing yourself to aim higher or lower, and there are some advantages to that, Chuck. I mean, I think that when you're in that situation, you're under the pressure, you're under the lights, as these guys are right now, there's a significant advantage in being able to make adjustments, even though you can't make them mechanically with a sight. You can make them a little bit with how you're aiming.
Absolutely.
Nice shot. Wow. Pinwheel from John
comes
Demmer.
right up. All of a sudden, he figured out exactly how far down to crawl there.
And that really may make a difference in this match. That could narrow the gap.
Yeah, well, he's been behind. You know, he came out a little bit slow with that first end, 23 versus 26. Bobby beat him again in the second end, 27-25.
4-point swing.
Now the question
now
is,
4-point swing here, so Bobby only has a 1-point lead now.
and the question really is, Chuck, did John Demmer get in Bobby Worthington's head just now? Because John Demmer puts that beautiful inside-out shot down there, and Bobby Worthington shoots a 7. You have to wonder how much of this is thinking about your competitor versus thinking about your own shot.
Yeah. Now, you know, maybe John asking him, how do you aim your arrows?
Does it make you think a little bit? And that's part of being a top tournament shooter, right? Which is being able to shut those distractions out.
That's a 9.
Nice 9.
Arrow, and John shoots a 9.
Let's see.
So with 1 arrow to go.
This is a tied match, Chuck.
Bobby hits a good solid arrow here. He can put some space in between them going into the last end. And a 9.
He shoots a 9 just out.
He definitely needed that. Definitely needed that.
Wow. You having a good time now?
Not as much.
Man, a few words. Love it. John, what do you think?
I wish we could put on a little bit better show for you guys, but hey, whatever. Sometimes it works out this way. It's finger shooting, Barebow style.
Okay. So we're down to a 1 arrow shoot off. Oh, no, excuse me. Got one more in. I'm sorry. Got one more in. Excuse me. Thought that was the last end for some reason. I got to get my eyes checked. With one end to go.
So we've got a really strong competition here, Chuck. We've got 3 more arrows to shoot. These gentlemen are tied, and just an incredible level of shooting from both of these guys today.
Oh, I think it's fantastic when you have a match that runs 4 ends. This is the gold medal match. You should, in my opinion, by all rights, you should run it right down to the end. This isn't a runaway for either archer. They've both got to perform very well. They're tied going into the last 3 arrows here, and it could be a really, really, really fun ending.
One of the things that I love about the format of the Lancaster Classic is that, you know, your top-seeded archer shoots 1 match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this archer, John Demmer, is not getting tired today. You look at Bobby Worthington, he has to stay consistent. This is his...
He's been out here for a half hour.
3rd match now.
Yeah.
Same spot.
Tied.
Great shooting from these guys.
Tie's cool.
The lights are on, the pressure is on, you know. This is it. This is the gold medal, and you got to wonder what's going through their minds.
Got 109. Nice shot. It's gold. Just a little bit
John
low
Demmer
now.
apologized a couple minutes ago, said he wished he could have put on a better show for us, and the reality is these guys are incredibly impressive.
I think they're putting on a great show.
Fantastic.
Got
That's
it
an 8.
just out to the
Kissed
left.
out for an 8.
1 point advantage, John Demmer.
So John can really seal it up right here with a great arrow to the center.
And he
Got a 9.
Might be
just
an
caught
8.
the 9.
Might be a liner.
Unofficially, of course.
Yep, the Rob's calling it an unofficial 9 from the line. So a 10 or 11 here.
Could win this match. Let's
10
see.
will tie it, 11 will win it.
Oh, and that's not it.
Okay, you got a left.
Way out with a 6, but man, what a match.
That'll seal
what
that up.
shooting today from Bobby Worthington.
Let's run out to Rob and get some final words here as they go down and get the official score.
Bobby, you shot tough today. How you feeling?
Not as good as I was.
Bobby, I want to comment. You've got some beautiful leather work here. Your quiver, your hat, all of the leather work that's typical of people that appreciate the outdoors and an outdoors lifestyle, and can't help but admire the workmanship.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is that your own workmanship?
Art Vincent. Yep. From Nashville.
Very nice. Good looking stuff. Art Vincent. Cedar Ridge Leatherworks. Nice shooting, Bobby. Let's give Bobby a hand. He earned $600. $600 for your efforts.
So it looks like we are seeing...
Pay contingency for the Band-Aid on your face?
Rob's giving them a little bit of grief
You
for
know where
the
that came from,
Johnson
don't
&
you?
Johnson Band-Aid there.
And I did find out something pretty interesting being over in Ireland. They call them plasters.
They call them plasters over there instead of Band-Aids?
So my face is plastered.
Well, it worked for you today, buddy. $1,000 for winning the Lancaster Archery Classic. Congratulations.
That's a
fantastic prize, Chuck.
That's a great payout for Barebow. $1,000 to win that at the Lancaster Classic. Now, as these guys are going to, $1,200. Rob just corrected that
What a
amount. It's going to be
payday.
$1,200 to win the Barebow division here at
This
the
is a
Lancaster
division.
Classic.
This is a division that historically does not pay out.
No, but I'm glad to see they're doing it. Well, we're going to step aside here just for a second. We're going to reset the stage. When we come back on the other side for the Lancaster Archery Classic here, the True Ball XL Archery Hall, we will be doing the Youth Open Female Finals.
Why do the #1 archers in the world choose the proven brands of True Ball Release and Excel sights? Because they want to win.
I will prevail.
I will prevail.
I will prevail.
I would prevail.
I will prevail.